During an early morning patrol in non-Q's, the staff found an orphaned cheetah cub shivering in the grass. It lay close to the ground, its eyes wide and full of fear, its belly sunken from not having eaten for days. The staff gently brought it to the rescue center in the reserve for examination and care. A young female staff member named Emma Ridley volunteered to take care of the cub from then on. She named it Zuka, which means revival power in the local language. Every morning, Emma prepared a bottle of milk, wiped it down, and soothed Zuka with a gentle voice. Zuka was shy at first, but soon clung to Emma like a kitten longing for affection. Emma spent hours playing with Zuka, using stuffed animals to help it practice pouncing and chasing. She took it to a small playground with tall grass and obstacles that simulated nature. Zuka began to learn how to hunt, stalk, jump, and accelerate as an awakened instinct. Its eyes became sharper, its reflexes became faster, and its muscles became more defined through each training session. Emma was not only a caretaker, she was also Zuka's first trainer and friend. Every night, Zuka lay next to Emma's feet while she read about cheetahs at the station. The relationship between humans and animals grew stronger, becoming an inseparable family. A year passed, and Zuka was now a confident and agile adult. The reserve decided it was time to let Zuka return to nature, where he belonged. On the day of parting, Emma gently hugged Zuka, giving him a look of emotional and proud advice. She carried Zuka into the car, a GPS collar around his neck to track his journey into nature. The car took them to the western grasslands, which were large enough for Zuka to be independent. Zuka got out of the car, turned to look at Emma, as if to say goodbye for the last time before running into the grass. Emma stood still, waving her hand, her heart filled with emotions that were difficult to put into words. In the following days, Zuka quickly got used to the terrain, moved further, and explored the new area. One dawn, the camera recorded Zuka bringing back a rabbit, the first trophy. Emma and the whole team celebrated because Zuka had truly become independent and developed complete hunting skills. However, fate tested him at an unexpected time. The next day, Zuka wandered into the red soil area, where the natives often left many ropes for herding cattle. He curiously bit into a long piece of rope, playing around as usual. Suddenly, the rope wrapped around his neck, tightened, and made Zuka stumble to the ground in pain. Zuka struggled, trying to escape, but the rope tightened more and more. It screamed in the middle of the field, but no one heard its cry for help. The sky began to turn orange. The wind picked up, carrying red dust swirling around the motionless body. Zuka was exhausted after hours of struggling. Her breathing was weak, and her eyes were half closed from exhaustion. Night fell. The sky was full of stars, but Zuka only had enough strength to groan softly and lie still to endure. It did not know that Emma was still monitoring it from afar through the computer screen in the center. That night, she discovered something strange. Zuka's GPS signal was unusually still for too long. The next morning, when the GPS still did not move, Emma immediately reported to the reserve commander. Sorry for the interruption. Before we continue with the story, I kindly ask you to like the video and subscribe to this channel. It is very important for us. Thank you very much. She sensed something was wrong. Her worried eyes did not leave the monitor screen. A rescue team was immediately sent to Zuka's current coordinates with medical equipment. Emma insisted on going with them because she knew Zuka better than anyone here. The car drove through the burnt grass, bumpy towards the red land where the signal stopped. In the distance, they saw a motionless leopard figure, its body tied tightly in the grass. Emma immediately rushed out of the car, her heart aching as she saw Zuka lying there groaning in pain. Zuka recognized the familiar figure, but could only groan softly in response to the deer call. Emma knelt down beside Zuka, her hands trembling as she gently stroked its head, tears streaming down her face. Zuka had no strength left to move, only closed his eyes and listened to the familiar voice ringing in his ears. The rescue team used specialized scissors to cut each piece of rope that was tightening around Zuka's neck and legs. Some of the ropes had dug deep into the skin, creating red, bloody wounds. Zuka trembled in pain, but did not resist, as if he knew he was being rescued. Everyone worked carefully, in sync, in close coordination and understanding. Emma held Zuka's head close to her chest, whispering continuously, "You'll be fine, Zuka. Don't be afraid anymore." After nearly an hour, all the ropes were removed, but Zuka was still very weak. They placed him on a soft medical pad and brought him under the tree for further care. Some of the wounds had been treated with antiseptic, stopped the bleeding, and began to dry. However, Zuka needed to be quickly re-energized to regain his vitality and regain stable consciousness. Emma prepared to inject him with a stimulant, and everyone stood around waiting for hope. Emma injected the stimulant into Zuka's thigh after checking that the heart rate and pulse were stable. Zuka was slightly startled. His eyes began to open gradually, his gaze still dull. She gently opened the box of fresh meat that had been prepared, placing it not far from his mouth. Zuka smelled a familiar scent, slowly stuck out his tongue, and licked the meat. He ate very little, then stopped and looked at Emma with a quiet gaze, as if wanting to say something. The whole team suddenly fell silent. Everyone realized that Zuka was not hungry. He knew how to hunt on his own. Emma leaned down and pressed her forehead against Zuka's, their eyes connecting with wordless affection. A gentle wind blew, carrying the smell of grass, dust, and gratitude that filled the air. Zuka stood up, staggered a few steps, but then gradually regained his balance. Emma smiled through her tears, knowing that Zuka was strong enough to continue living in the wild. They removed the first aid bandage to make it easier for Zuka to move when returning to the wild. The GPS tracking collar was still around his neck, allowing them to continue monitoring his condition and journey. Emma nodded to the team leader, signaling everyone to step back so Zuka could walk on his own. Zuka turned to look at Emma once more, a look of affection and emotion and a farewell. He turned into the tall grass, gradually disappearing from sight, leaving Emma's heart filled with quiet echoes. Zuka continued his journey in nature, where he belonged with his instincts awakened and trained. Every day, Emma still opened the GPS map, tracking Zuka's every move with a relieved smile. Zuka became the symbol of the non-Q's reserve's revival, a touching story of faith. Emma continued her work, but Zuka always lived in her heart as a special gift. Love and perseverance helped a wild creature find freedom in the vastness of nature. Dear friend, thank you for taking the time to watch the whole video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to support us. Goodbye and see you in the next video.